This weekend in the NFC Championship game, we have the quarterback matchup that we've been looking for over 10 years now. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, arguably the two best quarterbacks of our generation, definitely the two best quarterbacks in the 2010 decade. And we wanted them to meet in the Super Bowl, but now we have them meeting in the NFC Championship game. So the question I got today is, out of these two quarterbacks, who has the most to gain versus who has the most pressure? Let me start with who has the most pressure. That is clearly, undoubtedly, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been a guy, he's about to win his third league MVP. He has been sensational his entire career. He is regarded as the most talented quarterback in the history of the NFL. But he only has one Super Bowl on his resume. As great as a talent as he is, and some may say, well, his ownership never really gave him the defense to be successful. They never really drafted any first-round wide receivers, so on and so forth. But this year, there's no excuses. There are no excuses. Sure, you could say that defense has lost some games in the past, or maybe, again, he didn't have the weapons in the playoffs, and that's why the Packers ultimately had disappointing postseason runs. But this year, there's no excuse. You have the number one seed in the NFC. You have home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. You have the best receiver in football, and Aaron Rodgers having an MVP season. 40 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, leads the league in passer rating and QBR. No excuses, period, point blank. This is an opportunity for Aaron Rodgers to show him why he belongs in the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. This is an opportunity for him to do something special, to beat Tom Brady, who he's been compared to basically his entire career and his entire prime. People argue Rodgers is better than Brady, but the playoff success is why Brady always has the edge. So Aaron Rodgers, if he could get to the Super Bowl, his second Super Bowl appearance, this late in his career, after an offseason where his team moved up in the draft to draft quarterback Jordan Love, to act like they're ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers, and he could cap that off making a Super Bowl and winning league MVP, that would be special. That would cement his legacy. Officially official, he's in the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks in the history of football. Because if you look at the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, you obviously have Tom Brady, you have Peyton Manning, you have Joe Montana, and that fourth spot, people could argue that's up for grabs, whether that's Rodgers, Dan Marino, John Elway. You could argue other guys, but if Rodgers could pull off making a Super Bowl and beating Tom Brady and those Buccaneers, then you could really put him in that class. Then he's officially in the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. But if he doesn't, if they lose, that's just another knock on his resume. Because there's no excuses that his team's not good enough, this and that. That's the thing that I'm talking about in terms of pressure. But in terms of most to gain, I would have to say it's Tom Brady. As crazy as that sounds, he's regarded as the greatest quarterback of all time. We all know that. That's not even up for debate at this point. The amount of playoff success, the comeback drives, the killer in the clutch, you know it. You know his resume. He has nothing else to prove, some may say. But there's still those doubters, still those haters. A few things in that. Bill Belichick. People made the argument, including I used to do this myself. Tom Brady was a system quarterback. If he wasn't with Bill Belichick, he would never be successful. That was the narrative all through New England. The Spygate, the Deflategate, all that. That's why people think that it's Bill Belichick, not necessarily Tom Brady. And this year was really, could Belichick really do it without Brady? And look at the Patriots. Missed the playoffs, went 7-9. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now 11-5 in the NFC Championship game. After 43-year-old Tom Brady threw for 43 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards. He is proving to us that he could play in any system. This late in his career, no less. So if he could pull off this and not only make the Super Bowl, get to his 10th Super Bowl, and then get the 7th ring, then he is in the conversation, or that may eclipse him to be unanimously the greatest athlete of all time. Regardless that he's not necessarily the most athletic athlete, but in terms of his resume of what he's did at his position, that would officially put him doing it better than anybody else. He would eclipse Jordan with the 6 rings. Jordan and Brady have 6 rings right now. If Brady gets a 7th this late in his career coming out of the AFC with an entirely new system at the age of 43, Tom Brady would then have the argument as the greatest athlete of all time in terms of resume, in terms of what he did at his position, the individual body of work. That's why Tom Brady has actually more to gain. I don't think Aaron Rodgers could really eclipse Brady as the GOAT. Sure, of course he has something to gain. Both these quarterbacks have a lot to gain. But Brady, I don't think, has any pressure. He's playing with house money right now. That's why I can't make the argument he has more pressure than Rodgers, because he simply doesn't. If the Buccaneers lose, they exceeded expectations. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers exceeded expectations this year, given they went 11-5, like I already addressed. Brady's stats of 43 touchdowns, 5,000 yards in the NFC Championship game. No one expected this. No one expected this. People thought that the Buccaneers would be around 500, maybe 9-7, win a playoff game, and that would be it. Brady is proving us wrong. He's defeating Father Time. Sure, he has a lot to gain. He's just playing with house money at this point. That's why Tom Brady has more to gain than Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers definitely has more pressure than Tom Brady because of his past, because of his previous playoff runs and his playoff failures. You could say that as a team. But that's what I think of that. Please let me know in the comment section below what you think. Who has more pressure and who has more to gain between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in this NFC matchup? Again, thank you for watching my content. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for more of my content.